you said you were gonna wear a thong. Where's the thong?
I didn't mean a thong. I meant thong. Zzz.
Really should have been more clear about that.
You know what? This is nothing. My father is a raging alcoholic. Oh, I'm sorry. Have I made this evening uncomfortable? You go, girlfriend.
You never said that in your life, have you?
Not once.
I thought so.
I played the professor, paleontology professor Charlie Wheeler on Friends in season 9 and season 10. I'm Professor Wheeler.
Oh, that's nice.
I was called and told that they had this role for the show and that it was going to last maybe like 4 weeks. By the time I got the audition, I'd probably seen every episode of the show.
I'm sorry, Rachel, this is Charlie Wheeler. She's a colleague.
Charlie Wheeler was smart, very modern. You know, she's a paleontologist. She probably had a couple of graduate degrees.
Have you ever been in a relationship with someone who hasn't won the Nobel Prize?
No. She had only previously dated kind of these geniuses. She was a very picky dater. You know, most guys are just worried about whether they have fresh breath and both their shoes match. My first scenes were with Matt, and he was so great. He just took the time out to kind of like say, hey, this can be kind of crazy. Don't get freaked out. People freak out. Don't freak out. If you need anything, come ask me. And David said the same thing. He's like, if you need anything, just come and ask me. I'll help you. Matt kind of took the time out to like just talk to me. And he told me the storyline, which I didn't know. I mean, I didn't know what my storyline was. And he told me, he was like, okay, well, this is what it's laid out to be. David likes you, but then you end up with me, and then you get together with me, and then we start dating, and he's really jealous, and then he likes you, and then he kisses you, and because he kisses you, I kiss Rachel. And I was like, oh my God, he's like, I know! And it was just like such a huge storyline. It was like the pivotal kind of storyline of that season, and it was great. The first episode I did, where I meet everybody, it's the rooftop party thing, and he's trying to fake that he's sick so that everybody will leave and he can go to the party. And they all know that he's lying about the party, and so they make him open up his robe. And he had taped David Schwimmer's headshot to his crotchal area, which made everybody kind of like fall into tears and lay on the ground for like 10 minutes. And that was really fun. They're all so funny. And they're a family, you know, they kind of are just used to kind of pranking each other, so they have a good time. The, oh my God, I can't believe it point of my time on there was that first scene when I was with everybody in Chandler and Monica's apartment and being like, no way, you know, I'm on Friends. I think that was that moment for me.
I'm okay.
David is so funny because he is one of the few actors that can seem really, really smart, being really, really silly. You know, he played this guy with a PhD, he was a doctor of paleontology, but his character was so elastic and so silly and goofy and kind of self-effacing and constantly embarrassing himself.
Listen, hey, Rose, so why don't you try to relax, okay? Maybe have a drink.
You know what? That is a very good idea. I'm gonna go make a picture of margaritas.
The funniest scene that I did with David was the last scene that I did with David, last scene I did on the episode when I leave him for Greg Kinnear.
Sweetie, this conversation's starting to make me a little uncomfortable.
The way he said it was so funny.
This conversation's making me a little uncomfortable.
It took us literally like 15 takes. He's so good, and he just makes choices that nobody else would make. I mean, he makes really unusual, very non-obvious choices. So you can watch that guy. You can learn a lot, I think, from him. I did this scene with David where I tell Ross that I broke up with Joey because we didn't have anything in common, and we're having this like kind of really intense heart-to-heart. And I finished the scene, and everybody comes running over, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna tell me how good I was. And they're all like, we could see your underwear during the entire scene. So then when you actually see the scene that I did, that ended up in the show, you'll see that when I sit down, I very gently lift my skirt right before I sit down so that it covers the tops of my underwear. At that point, you can't be embarrassed because, like, 300 people are sitting in the audience. It's like, what are you gonna do? Go sit in your dressing room and, and be upset? I was like, oh, well, they're nice underwear. It was a good underwear day. I was wearing nice underwear, so.
I'm gonna change my name.
Great! Okay, what are you gonna change it to?
Crap bag.
Mike Crap Bag?
No, Mike. No, just crap bag. First name crap, last name bag. Thanks for coming, you guys.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I was going for a handshake.
Is that why your hand is pressed against my crotch?
That is why.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got this little talk.
Yes, yeah. And thanks for all the wedding night advice. That didn't make me uncomfortable at all.
I played Mike Hannigan, Phoebe's eventual husband. I was in Los Angeles, and my agent called me and said, you know, would you be interested in appearing on a couple of episodes of Friends? It was only ever supposed to be a couple. It was a little strange, kind of entering the show in its 9th year, and it was already really well established, and they'd been working together for years and years. And they were horrible to me, and they remained horrible until the very last episode. They wouldn't ever address me by name. Both Matts never looked me in the eye. David Schwimmer used to spike my food. He peed on it one time, actually. I had a salad. What are you gonna do? That's work, I guess.
You need both hands for that?
Yeah, I kind of do. Well, how's this?
I'd met Lisa one other time. She was so nice, and she's so funny. She's developed her own kind of intonation. Like, nobody does really what she does.
Well, I'm no longer Phoebe Buffet.
That's great. You changed your name?
Yes, I did. Meet Princess Consuela Banana Hammock.
I just try and in any scene that if I can work my ass to stick out in some awkward way, I will.
You are really good.
Probably one of my favorite shows that I got to do in regard to Lisa was the show where she meets my parents.
Mom, Dad, this is Phoebe. Phoebe, these are my parents, Theodore and Bitsy.
Theodore, Bitsy. What a delight.
That episode, I think, became even more fun to work on because I think that we really got to add some things.
No, when he gets going, he can rattle a headboard like a sailor on leave.
My two favorite shows that I got to be a part of were that one and then the one with Ross and I not having anything to say to one another. There was a lot in that scene that actually wasn't on the show. We did awkward pauses that lasted minutes long, and that was just really, it was fun to do. Like, we kept kind of laughing at our own shtick, knowing full well it would never make it.
I'll get it. Hello? Ross's place. Mike speaking. That's for you.
I don't understand what just happened here.
There's just nothing funnier to me than awkwardness.
Oh!
Oh, by the way, I'm awesome.
They had a ping pong table set up all week during rehearsals. I am a terrible ping pong player. I got better because of that episode because they brought in people to work with us. They brought in ping pong experts. When they would run through other scenes, Courtney and I were constantly yelled at, saying, like, cut it out. We're rehearsing over here. Whatever, you know. Don't write it into the script next time, is what I say, you know?
Mike, do you take this woman to be your wife?
I do.
I am happy that Phoebe and I got married. It's just surreal to me. It's weird that there's this major show that I remember when it first aired, and then it comes down to, you know, the 9th season, and then to kind of find myself mixing with these people in these sets that are so familiar to me but are still so foreign to me, and then to marry one of them, it's just crazy. It's a little overwhelming if I think about it.
I want one.
Oh, yeah? Well, tell me which one. I'll try to slip it in my coat.
People kind of just seem to root for this couple. I think they just like the dynamic.
What are we gonna do?
Well, I know this is gonna sound crazy, but we could not let the box of rats ruin our lives.
It was just a really fun place to go to. Everybody was really nice, and I didn't really have that much experience with sitcom television or anything like that, but I was really spoiled by going into that one.
I was gonna let you use my Ralph Lauren discount. You are not gonna regret this.
You remember Joey? Yeah, hey, sure. The Days of Our Lives guy.
That's right, yeah.
You are not good. We're gonna be roomies.
I played Rachel's sister Amy in 2 episodes on Friends.
This is my sister, Amy. This is Chandler, Joey, Phoebe, and you know Mon. Hi.
I had worked with Bright Kaufman Crane on my show, which was Jessie, a few years ago, so I think I was sort of fresh in their minds at that point. I was really nervous, I have to say. I was really nervous, and I remember the first time I was on, before I'm knocking on the door to come into Ross and Rachel's apartment, I almost fainted. I hadn't been in front of an audience for probably 3 years at that point, and even though I had spent 13 years of my life doing that, it wasn't my territory, first of all, you know, so it wasn't my comfort zone, it was somebody else's home, and just the audience, the sound of the audience just really freaked me out. I really got scared.
Oh my God. You're on Days of Our Lives.
Yeah.
Wow. They must put a lot of makeup on you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
I just feel that she's someone who she doesn't edit. She speaks out her process. She says the first thing that comes to her mind.
Do you have a hair straightener? Hi. Hair straightener.
I think that Amy has high regard for her sister's life and sort of finds it glamorous, would never obviously admit that she's, you know, somewhat jealous or envious of her lifestyle, but, you know, just figures that she lives in a place that's bigger and more lavish and lush. But at the end of the day, it's her sister and she loves her. She looks up to her and wants to emulate her in every way.
So welcome. Is this the first time you're seeing Emma?
Yeah, I think so. It's nice to meet you, Emma.
Phoebe.
Oh, that's a funny noise.
They were really welcoming and lovely to me, and I got to hang out with Jennifer a lot, and she's just, she's top-notch human being. My favorite line in the show, and it was one of those things that they wrote right in front of the audience, was,
Emma, Ross wants you.
Phoebe!
Why does she keep making that noise?
it's one of those things that they just, you know, threw in there at the last minute, and it was brilliant. It was really nice to be in the room with them and to have all the relationships in there and watch all of them play out and sort of be a fly on the wall of that. Because that's what the show's about. The show's about the camaraderie and the chemistry that they all have together, and all these very defined characters put in this situation, how different they are and how much individuals they are, but yet they click. And it was great. It's great to watch. They're such a talented group of people, and I was really fortunate to be sitting there watching the pros do it.
My so-called sister gets a 30% discount from Ralph Lauren, and I still have to pay retail? Oh, it's 45. You bitch.
The cat fight was definitely the highlight of the entire show. Not because I got to beat up Jennifer, but just that she got to beat up me. You know, it was so much fun to do that, and we rehearsed it all week, and it was interesting. So it wasn't feeling like it was very funny, and then I don't know who it was who suggested it, that she put her hand on my head and that I start swinging and doing that, you know, the old sort of Three Stooges gag of not being able to touch her, and that was it. It was just, the audience went insane. We had such a good time doing that fight scene. I mean, every time afterwards we'd be out of breath, and, you know, our hair would be a mess, and we want to do it again. We want to do it again and again and again. It was really, it up-leveled the energy on the stage. It was a lot of fun.
You're not Rachel.
Still Shopper's Attack.
I thought it was just going to be a one-time deal and, you know, do it and do my thing and leave. And I was really happy when they asked me to come back this year.
You are so irresponsible. I am never letting you babysit ever again. Hey, you know what? This kid needs me, okay? She needs to have a cool, fun aunt. I'm a cool, fun aunt. Okay.
It was really lovely, you know, just having the audience just see you and be grateful and applaud. And that was really nice. That made me feel good. You get on a set like that and you wish that all sets that you've been on were like that. And I was getting nostalgic for the whole process because they just made me feel so comfortable and felt so good to be there.
To make something last for 10 years and make people fall in love with those characters the way that they have, that's really the actors. And they just know how to do it.
But to be a part of a show that was that important culturally, you know, that people loved and so many people watched, and not just in the United States, but I mean, all over the world. You know, people write me fan mail from Europe and Asia, and that's really exciting and interesting. And I think that's just like a nice milestone to be able to point back and go, I was a part of that.